Hello, hello, and welcome to another broadcast off of EGF here coming at you on the EGF2 channel. And we've got TCU Esports' Smash Bros. Going into week number 2 for these teams, and I'm pretty excited to jump into it. My name is K-Wing, and I'm here with Cherry J. Cherry, it's great to get back on this horse with you, and let's ride this off into the sunset.
Yeah, we got two phenomenal teams opening up the day. Unfortunately, I might have made a bit of a mistake and do not have the correct teams written on the scoreboard, so I'm getting that changed right about now. But, ladies and gentlemen, two teams entering in. We got the one, the only Turtle Mountain taking on... Let me find it. Wow, we are not logged in. The OLC. So, two great schools competing, looking to try and make their mark. We'll see which one's able to find victory here tonight as we enter this best of 3 within Smash Bros. On that 4v4. We'll have to kind of wait and see, K-Wing, but I'm super excited to see who's going to be able to come out on top.
Yeah, momentum is going to be the name of the game here when you're talking about a Smash Bros. 4v4 crew battle. There's a lot of sort of esoteric rules that might not make sense initially, and we'll go over those as they come up. But all that you need to know is each team starts out with 12 stocks. We start off with a normal 3v3. The winner of that 3v3 moves on, takes down the next in the list of the opposing school, while keeping however many stocks they had lost in that initial first 3-stock to 3-stock. And we'll move on to this as they come up. But here we've got OLC on the Kirby. We got Patton and Peacharella on the Zelda. Switching up the princess there, but Zelda, a really good ranged character with some powerful up close options, but Kirby just has a lot of that speed, and so right now she's really struggling to maintain control and really keep her distance a touch.
It's looking good, right? You see Kirby coming out from the OLC, dropping in with the purple midnight version variation. A nice side B, delivering the first stock, putting them up 11 to 12. Opening off nicely, looking to find the trade. 100% gets gained. They are going to make some kind of configuration kill out the hammer, but as they do make their way over to the fighting styles, will be having a relatively nice downbeat to deal some damage, and it just keeps poking higher and higher. Okay, wait, the answer doesn't seem to be delivered just yet.
No, and the problem is that both these characters, while light, they can take a little bit of a beating, and neither of them have been getting in these big hits, or at least not Peacharella so far, as 150% on a Kirby is something I haven't seen in quite some time, as just how light that character is. As you can see, one good hit and then pouring off screen. Now even up in stock, but Peacharella, already she's struggling a touch on that percentage battle. You want to see her keeping almost SDing there. Is that Kirby of OLC, but still just a bit of struggle to find a good approach.
Looking to try and make some magic here, and now the stock gets converted. So now it'll be 11 to 10, ending off nicely. Getting out this Kirby, it's can gather enough drop them without going to their final, or realistically than not. You'll see the amount you should be able to at least bring this to even just by 1. Take it 9 to 10. Nice. Yep. As of now, they might just be able to find the victory despite being down the stock.
Yeah, that guard was a really big play. It just absolutely demolished there. And now Peacharella is finally starting to suss out the strategy of dealing with a Kirby like that. Is dodging out of the way of that down B and just waiting for the Kirby to come out of that invulnerable state and punishing on top of that. That is exactly what's happening. Is that move has a lot of exit lag, and the tables have completely turned here. That was very dangerous. Patton goes right off the side. in a lot of trouble. 144, one good hit will do it, but one good down could really turn the tides. It's now neck and neck. Both these teams looking to snatch the lead and continue on. Start playing with some house money. And it's going to be the forward smash out of Peachurella, turning it around. And
Zelda wins!
Her turnaround college.
Yeah, the turnaround really did look nice. It seemed as if there might have just been some start lag to the play, just not allowing much mistakes to go punished from the Kirby, and that's kind of an issue. But as they did kind of play through the matchup, they were able to make it work in the end, inevitably securing a lot of victory stocks. You know, they looked really good. They looked extremely proficient towards the end on that Zelda, and hopefully they'll be able to continue as now they do face off their next opponent.
Yeah, and the thing is that what you're going to see immediately at the start here is Peachurella is going to be coming back. Peachurella is going to be SDing twice. So that's going to be 2 jumps off of the stage, and then Peachurella is going to, at that point, see what happens. At this point, she's done all you could really want her to do to keep this neck and neck, which is she's won her match. Right now, that's the cool thing about the crew battle, is you have this opportunity to start taking an advantage, to start chipping away and making the next people's matches maybe just a bit easier, taking a stock off of the next opponent, or maybe even the opponent after that. I've seen, and you've produced, actually, Cherry, some of those matches where we've just seen a player go on a complete tear through the enemy team. And even on one stock, as this happens, a lot can happen. A lot of really hype plays can occur. So I'm pretty excited to see what we get out of Oglala Lakota and what Peachurella is gonna do about it. We saw her struggle a bit, but she adapted pretty well in the later stages of it.
Yeah, I mean, as we saw the Kirby just kind of running out of steam towards the end, having to really try and pull out all the stops. It didn't work inevitably, as now we are going to try and make a little bit of a comeback for this OLC roster. If they can make it happen, yeah, I certainly do believe that they are going to make a comeback. It is really just a will time tell, right? When you're playing kind of these crew battle situations, you traditionally do like to place your higher ranked players, kind of stronger individuals towards the end of the ladder. That way they are able to try and make those miracle plays happen, 1v6, 1v7, their oppositions. And if they can kind of really take that victory, that certainly will be able to change the tone going into that second and third set if we do end up getting there.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to be getting into a second set, but we can see that third set come through. This is going to be a first 2-2. So once one of these teams exhausts all 4 of their players, that team the opposing team will win. They will get 1 point, and then we will reset all the dominoes. We can have these teams switch around their orders of their rosters, pick different characters, but then they go at it again, and the first to 2 points wins. So there's a lot of opportunity here. There's a lot of opportunity for counterpicking. There's a lot of opportunity for players on the side of OLC, for instance, to say, oh, this person's playing a Zelda. I might try and go might try and counterpick that Zelda, or just try and pick something they're more confident in that matchup.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not too comfortable with the Zelda myself. I'm not too familiar with what those counter picks do look like. You'd imagine that they are going to attempt to maybe pick somebody who will look to close the gap against some of the fire that does get released, as well as the counter ability that they do have when it comes to pulling in the Shadow Knights. It really is just a situation, however, where it depends on what Oglala will end up kind of opting into as a kind of main stake of their game, right? Do they want to go for that counter pick situation, or are we just going to be seeing comfort take priority, as that's also a real world that does happen traditionally in Super Smash Bros., especially at the collegiate level. People have those one tricks that they do tend to really try and prioritize more than something that may perhaps be considered a better option, right? So we might even see another Kirby come in. Who knows? I'm sure to know that I don't, but I am just looking to see what we do end up coming out with.
Yeah, you could see a counter pick like one of the more long range characters. You could see like a Palutena or something along those lines come in. But I think honestly, at the level we see TCU at, you're going to see comfort picks. You're going to see what people feel confident in, and generally speaking, you're going to see people play characters in the same class. I'm not saying that you won't see any swaps whatsoever. You're definitely going to see people change up their characters in between these different sets. They're not allowed to change it in between games, which is important. So we couldn't see Peachurella come out on, instead of the Zelda, come out on like a Sonic. But instead, what we're going to see is maybe if someone played, for instance, like one of your heavier characters, like a Bowser or a Ganondorf, they might come out on like a King DDD or something along those lines. Is usually people will pick characters that are similar in play style enough that those abilities transfer over.
Yeah, I mean, the way that this could possibly go is you might see like a little bit of that kind of more passive play from Zelda, right? Now that they are on that final stock, that might give them a little bit of nerves to have to be calmed. And whether or not that is going to kind of continue to be the case, we will just kind of have to wait and see. But I would expect, okay, so we actually did just get confirmation we are going to Hollow Bastion for the second game, which is a little bit interesting, right? It's a bit different in terms of how the platforms are set up comparatively to most of the other set stages within the EGF map picks, I guess. Not sure what you would really describe that as, but Hollow Bastion. So it is probably one of Zelda's better maps, so I do have to applaud where that is due. Now, I'm kind of excited to see how that is going to kind of transfer, right? What will be the pick? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a King K. Rool on a map like this. It's a relatively standard pick when you have those long sight lines that you do just get to send out your crown towards, as well as combo with a nice cannonball. You can really try and make something happen when you do force your opponent to kind of act in those very one-dimensional areas, but we'll just kind of have to see.
Yeah, I think also for a crew battle, it's incredibly, a King K. Rool is pretty strong because you have that heavier character that is gonna really do well with high percentages or higher percentages than a lighter character. And in a crew battle, stocks are all that matters. That's it. If you end a fight with 2 stocks, it doesn't matter if you have 0% or if you have 200. It's the same. And a character that's going to be able to endure hits that other characters won't, especially the super armor or your down B golden belly, you can really play a bit of a tank here in a crew battle.
It does seem like we are going to be going, and we have Scorn taking up next. We'll see what they can find, as we are seeing them on the Ike actually coming on in game number 2. See what they are inevitably able to come up with.
3,
They
2,
take the stage.
1,
K-Wing.
go!
Let's see what they got.
Yep.
Okay, so it looks like Peachurella is just going to play with the quote-unquote 3 stocks, and then we'll call it as soon as she uses the 1. But either way, looking for a pretty big play there, as Ike throws out the ether in a lot of trouble even early on, and that's the big thing here with these low stock rules, is that usually they are a sealed bet for whichever player is carrying one stock, or against whatever player is carrying one stock, but sometimes they can surprise you. Take one stock, they can even take two, and that can really start everything rolling here.
Yeah, I mean, despite having that one stock, oh, threading the needle. That is crazy. With fireball right there. You saw that. Still under the stage despite that. The curve on that inevitably takes it off, finds their first stock, and all slowing down that percentages. As we see the pressure building, 67%. So they are going to keep that rising. As now he's all the way up to 90. Back on stage, still tries to contest, but all the way back on stage, just phenomenally bouncing them up in air. And K-Wing, I mean, we were kind of concerned with the fact that they didn't come back from that, but it seems like they might not have needed to.
No, it seems like not, and even with some little weirdness, this is really rough. It seems like there's just nothing they can do. The shields are going incredibly well. Petrel really timing those out very, very well. Good dash attack to force off, almost hitting that fire from across the map. Using the up air to regain stage control as well, but in some trouble as well. Avoids that charged attack, and again, just using some really good ranged attack, and Peachurella takes it again. And that's just, I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah, completely dismantling their opponents. As Scorn took the field, we assumed that they would be able to find something. Taking that one stock should have been a relatively simple achievement. However, in the end, we saw a complete dismantlement, only getting them up to, like 60% or something, really proving their dominance as the opening player. It does just kind of beg the question for me on what does this lineup consist of, because clearly it's going to be individuals that you cannot reckon with.
Yeah, and I think their TMC really got a surprise. I think that was crazy. I think that was insane. I don't know how else to call it. I mean, just oh man. Man, oh man. That was wild. I mean, and it was such a change from what we saw Peachurella do in map 1, in like round 1, where she really struggled against that Kirby. But against Ike, it seemed like she was in her element. Her shields were impeccably timed. They were spaced out pretty well. And it just seems like none of the it just seemed like that Ike couldn't make anything happen.
Yeah, it was really, really rough. We saw just consistency, that pressure on edge being put forward. And as long as that does stay to be the case, I really will be expecting them to kind of continue dominating these lobbies. Unless somebody does find a response. I mean, I'm not sure what's still in the bank for this TMC roster, if they do have anybody who's capable of kind of matching that ranged firepower. And if not, then we could just be seeing an early bow out.
That we could. And like, again, even if Peachurella does bow out here, it's an incredibly good result for her.
Yeah, absolutely. We just kind of saw consistently that if you find these two first players, that is going to really be able to kind of skyrocket your team into a lead that will likely not get defeated by any means. So we will just kind of have to see, but I am very excited, right? I am not sure what's going to happen. I would imagine that more realistically than not, though, this should be a relatively swift win for them if they're able to continue this.
Yeah, I think. Oh man, I think if Pedrella continues on that tear the way that she did against that Ike, I think it might just be curtains for OLC. I mean, talk about a reversal. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think ideally it's going to be very, very likely. I mean, obviously, we did see the Kirby showcasing some really strong work against them, being able to take them down to a single stock remaining. However, if they do have a bit of a difficult time making something happen, then this could really, really change around. It does somewhat seem as if Clem is going to be the next person to take the stage. I'm not totally sure. Yep, there it is. But I'm curious to see what he does have to kind of showcase against Petrella, who's been on such a good game.
Yeah, I mean, it's been dominant, and I think that her follow-ups as well have been really, really impressive. Her ability to maneuver with Zelda's moveset has also been pretty good. Using her side Bs, it's clear that she's probably not as confident with going off stage, but I think using side Bs to try and chase people, great. As Petrella, I don't know if this can count. I don't know if that can count.
What do you mean?
Okay, is she SDing or not? She's
Um,
not SDing, is the problem.
Yeah.
And then we told them that the game starts at 9:45, and then she attacked before 9:45. But either way, we'll keep calling it as though it didn't. So either... Look, I don't think this game is valid one way or another. Either she...
well, overall,
Either she
yeah.
Either she attacked before and did not intend to SD, and then actually SD'd, and none of this counts, or she intended to SD, but also attacked this Clem initially, which would invalidate it anyway.
Well, no, 'cause
So-
either way it would be invalidated because they would need to S them twice. So it doesn't even matter if they didn't intend to because they started at one stock as the Kirby in game number 1 brought them down to the second one. So overall, I think we're just gonna tell them hey, Clem, Tina, they're still at full. Yeah. So that's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, and that's where Petrella is. But even still, again, a really impressive play out of and even regardless of the end of this round, a 9-6 lead is a great way to leave your team being the first player. Being the first player out.
Yeah, it is certainly good for him, and if you get a little bit of extra practice, almost mattering, and it at least gives you a bit of an entrance into what could be your second set down a player who was doing ridiculously well. We obviously saw them having that one stock to 3 and found a victory despite it. So hopefully this will be a bit of a moral boost despite having a bit of a less radical intention, I guess. So hopefully this game will conclude quickly, because it doesn't really matter who wins it, but we will see what does.
Yeah.
Game.
Well, there it is.
Zelda wins.
They won, so I guess they got that going for them. But unfortunately, that doesn't really matter, as they did lose their first one relatively quickly into the game. And yeah, so very good stuff for the Lucina of Clem, being able to put forth some pretty dominant performances, to say the least, and hopefully they'll be able to continue that coming into their second matchup, as that is going to put TMC up to 9, and OLC remains at 6.
Yep.
I do, to an extent, feel bad for Petrella, just because of the fact that, more realistically than not, they were not informed on the rules. But that's why you gotta read the rules. That's why you gotta read the rules. Oh man,
Read the rules,
K-Wing.
gang. Read the rules.
So it is unfortunate, but that is the case.
Yeah. No. It is. But again, we will see more of Petrella in the next set. And then also, it wouldn't even, even minus that, the end, result, that last round where we had some rule confusion, it was still an incredible performance. And none of that, changes, that doesn't change the incredible performance we saw against Ike, the incredible performance against Scorn, and the lead that she has given her team is a commanding one. So you feel bad, like you said, but I think that she can hold her head high as we go into Lucina
3,
versus
2,
Mewtwo.
1,
9
go!
to 6. And now Lucina Clem has a bit of a hill to climb.
Come at
To
me.
even this out, she would have to, Clem would have to take a 3-stock here. So right now, they are just looking for a win, but the bigger the win, the better for OLC.
Absolutely. We do see Mewtwo moving onto the battlefield. It already is going to be looking like trying to reflect on. Will not work, as now Petrella is starting on a hot front as both players get up to 46 to make their lead known, as they deliver a nice back kick and send some flying. 70% gathered. Well, it's going to be charged on nicely. A shadow ball that is going to be connected into a grab, sending him off stage, looking to finish this off, execute him nicely as hitting triple digits, sending out the shadow ball. Will not be able to make the connection, but it does steal the damage. The pressure is spotted, as now the Mewtwo trying to juggle will not work.
Yeah, and it is to note that TMC, the Mewtwo is Ash, not Petrella. This is just Ash. But still, pretty effective so far out of TMC. Ash is playing very effectively, finding holes in Clem's team and really putting on the pressure where appropriate. Evading incredibly well. Getting caught up in that little edge guard, though.
Well, you know what, K-Wing? I just got some really good news. Turns out my OBS is completely broken. Well, there's the stock. Now it is 5 to 8. Great work coming from both individuals. We are going to be seeing a nice grab followed up with the stock pick. But, yeah, anyway, I was totally under the impression that there was no game audio. Turns out there is game audio. Sick. But, okie dokie, let's get on back into this. 85%, nice grab comes out. Looking to finish this off. Shadow Ball is getting charged. Gonna go for the shield. Followed up with it. Oh man. Ash dominating as now Clem trying to retrieve back on good stage recollection as they are able to find themselves, but Shadow Ball to the face will take them offline.
Yeah, and a great play so far. I mean, Clem just barely able to stay alive here. And this is not what you want for OLC. You need the win here. Going down at this point would just, I mean, it would be curtains for you at this point. I mean, 8-4 as an unfortunate SD out of TMC gives OLC some opportunity. But at the very least, you have a shot. You have the chance for a reversal here. We've seen one already, but Clem needs this desperately to avoid going down 3-7 and just keep it 4-6 at this point, as now 40-100 basically can't take another hit, but just times the counter a bit too early. Takes the smash attack to the jaw, and that'll be TMC now 7-3.
Is it 7? Really? Oh, wow. I still thought that the Mewtwo was at 2. Wow. That's actually really nice. Alright, it's staying even. Unfortunately for the OLC, the damage done by Petrella has really hindered their opportunity to be able to come back. They're now down to a single player to try and make a real comeback. We'll see whether or not they are going to be able to do that inevitably, but it's definitely not going to be easy by any means.
Yeah. As we look forward, we've got we're going to Final Destination next, and it's the Mewtwo of OMC. I just combined the two teams. It is the Mewtwo of TMC, pardon me. It is the Mewtwo of TMC going up against it's gonna be Mewtwo going up against I actually don't have the name of the next person yet, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that it is going to be somebody who's able to really challenge, find some kind of way to be able to bring this back, maybe take it 2-3-6. Hopefully we'll have no more issues regarding understanding how stocks work. Now, obviously we are crossing our fingers on that. Who knows? There might be a bit of an issue, but if they do end up not going with it, we can always just keep track, find out when they do fall off, everything like that. So it should be fine, ideally, in an ideal world. But K-Wing, we are just going to have to wait and see. So my question for you, right, because we are going to be going into a second set after this, is do you think that this could possibly, like, lay off differently, right? Do you think that we'll be seeing the same dominance from Petrella, who was putting up such a great performance? And do you think that that's possibly going to be leading us to kind of seeing what a replication, or do we maybe see them stepping off the gas a little bit and perhaps seeing this go a bit of a different way after what could possibly be our last game?
I think the door is absolutely open for Petrella to continue that dominance. I think that if she's underestimated, absolutely. But I think right now, what OLC has that they did not coming into this is 2 sets of instructions for how to counter this Zelda. If Petrella should go to the Zelda for that second set, you now have a lot of instructions on how to take that down. The Kirby was pretty effective. It was neck and neck with Petrella for most of that round. And so now you're looking at this and going, yeah, you know what? I think we could probably make some small adjustments on our Kirby, make less aggressive commitments. Even on the Lucina, the match that we saw was also fairly neck and neck. So small adjustments might just be the change that they need to go into set number 2 and get a victory through.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. Just reminding some of the players that they do have to do their due diligence, make sure that they do jump off the map. Hopefully, they are going to remember that when we come on into the match. Now, so personally, right? Personally, I just want to get some thoughts from you because you're a little bit smarter than I am. You're a little bit more intelligent. You've done the smart people things. I have not. Now, so coming into this matchup, right? What would you play into this? Because you got that big brain, you got all that information stored up in that noggin. What do you kind of expect to see? What would you like to see? And everything like that. And then I'll give you my thoughts afterwards.
I think going into a Mewtwo, I don't know. I think that, again, you can really go up with what you want, but my recommendation is going to be um a fast character that can do some combos. Mewtwo is fairly vulnerable to those combos. Some of um up Bs, their up B is pretty floaty. Their recovery can be pretty weak. They're very light. They have a large hitbox. It's it's pretty easy to combo a Mewtwo. So you're looking for something that's going to be pretty good at a combo, something like your Fox, your Falco. Um, Anything that's going to be a bit easy to bang out some combos and launch Mewtwo pretty quickly. But also, honestly, you're probably going to be planning out for what's next. So I could see something like maybe your King K. Rool if you want to try and go for a heavy. Maybe like a DK or even a Bowser if you want to go for something that can have some really effective, if not very long, combos that are easy to get into.
Yeah, ideally, I was actually going to say King K. Rule just because I feel like I feel it in my bones. Somebody's going to have to pull it out tonight. And I think it's coming out in this game. Either a King K. Rule or a Pyramithra is going to be my prediction on what we will be seeing. But we'll have to wait and see. It does seem like the players are ready, though. We're going on in. It's CJ to be the next one up to bat. Let's see what they can find as we go on over for Final Destination.
Yeah, that's going to be what you've got. Um and
One, go!
Huh.
Now going in, and we've got CJ on the Daisy and two SDs, and we're ready to get back into it as they wait out the timer and go. Already rolling off with a long range strike, rearing up. Both ready for it, but neither really willing to go in. TMC perfectly happy to pepper from afar, just try and like suss out that defense and then go in for that big hit. Daisy, also a fairly light character, as CJ goes to jump in, gets hit with a pretty big hit, and a great up smash to catch her off guard. Really amazing.
They already sent down to 2, looking nice. Let's see what they can find after the fact, as it is going to be a really, really rough time fighting into the Mewtwo. As we do see CJ already hit up 70% once more, looking to try and finish it off here and now as they hit a nice grab. Looking to follow up. Shadow Ball unable to connect, but it's a good neutral up as they send them out packing. As the deflect is unable to connect, and Beach Relic really communication of the damage, but the leeway not given.
Oh my gosh. And this is the thing with the Mewtwo, is that she is so incredibly, whoop, I punched my mic arm. She is so incredibly good at getting kill confirms on multiple attacks that are incredibly good for taking stocks. You have good your up throw and your back throw especially have great kill confirms. So Mewtwo is a really great option. You also have a good projectile reflect as well with your side B, and just the damage you can output in the knockback, even at like 40%. CG was halfway to the blast zone at that point. Even on a pretty tall stage like this, is this tournament legal? Who's to say? But either way, that's going to be it. As there you have it.
wins.
TMC Turtle Mountain College with 2 single players, both taking on a 1 stock v 3 stock and winning it out, take down OLC in set number 1. And that is incredibly scary for your for the side of OMC of I keep saying OMC, but I mean OLC. And that's incredibly scary for the side of OLC because now you're going into match point and you haven't even seen half of your opponent's team.
Yeah, they really are coming into this full through the dark. Hopefully they'll be able to make some kind of comeback in their second set, as realistically speaking, it has not been an easy game by any means for them. I'm really hoping that they're going to be able to make some kind of comeback because it is not looking good by any means, K-Wing. If they want to be able to do it, we're going to have to just see it happen here and now, as it's a big undertaking that they're going to have to come through. As I don't know how likely we're going to be seeing that set 3 come out, as we know 2 of the individuals, especially that being that Mewtwo, that being Petrella, they've been completely on the tear lately on this game number 1, and hopefully they'll be able to continue it.
Yeah. It looks like we do have the first up for TMC. It's going to be Ash Train coming in out of TMC, and I don't think that. No, we have had Ash Train come in. I believe they were. That was the Ike, I think, from. No, that can't be right.
I'm not sure.
What?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. I think there might be some confusion again. Hopefully we'll be able to take care of all that. It is and am I the problem, K-Wing? I feel like I might be the problem. Supposedly there's still one more person. Because the Kirby went first. And then there was the second person. I forget who it was. Then there was the Lucina. And then there was the fourth person. That's 4, right? I feel like I'm crazy. Yeah, no, I'm not crazy. I can't be crazy.
Sorry, I'm trying to message people.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate because like you're trying to pull double duty as producer and also caster.
Well, yeah, hopefully this game's going to be better. Maybe we'll even see some more people come play. This is kind of what we are trying to make happen, but let's see. Overall, looking forward to it. It does seem as if we are going to have Clem opening off. Let's see what they do end up coming in with, as they had that opportunity, change characters, stay with the same. I'd like to see some swaps, I think, ideally. But Yeah, K-Wing. So how was your day?
My day's been pretty good, you know.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
I got a lot of work done.
Oh, nice.
Watched a movie with a friend, you know.
Ooh. Which
It's
movie?
been pretty nice. Haikyuu, the dumpster battle, the volleyball anime
Oh
movie. Oh,
my gosh. We are
quality,
on peak. We
quality,
are on peak.
quality. Oh, but either way, as we hopefully get into this next match soon, um, yeah,
Oh, seems like we
hopefully
are
as we get
getting
into
into
this next
this
match.
next
Oh,
match soon, so that is pretty cool. So we're gonna be getting on in. I totally forgot to reset the scores. Sorry about that. But ladies and gentlemen, get
over
ready,
12,
get
over 12.
set. Oh, what? Oh no.
One,
Wow.
go!
Yeah, we're going in though. Lots of swaps though, so I am very happy with what we got going for us. Clem obviously taking up a new stance. We'll see what they can achieve. As yeah, it does seem like we're just gonna get right on in.
Yeah, we've got Ash coming in for TMC, and we've got, of course, Clem coming out for OLC. As the Byleth is an interesting character. Both of these characters really interesting. And I'm interested. I'm with it.
I'm a Division 1 Byleth enjoyer. I think that it's just such a fun character. But we are just gonna get on in already dealing the damage. TMC putting up 50% and will start to rise. However, the opposition that they do have against them really raised up in percent highly. Is now Peterella. I'm not sure whether or not this is that individual. Most likely, one would imagine
It's
it ends up
Ash.
being no. Oh, it is Ash. I didn't realize we had confirmation. So swapping off of the Mewtwo onto the Violet. Let's see what they can end up doing. As they do find the first stock, securing it, and really putting themselves on the forefront of this game. Look at that percentage, 67, raised up to 88. Looking very, very prevalent within this match.
Yeah, and I think with this matchup, it's a pretty classic strength versus dex kind of matchup. You got the Byleth, a fairly slow character that's going to have a really tough time. Ooh, that was tough. It's going to have a really tough time dealing with the speed of Zero Suit Samus. However, on the other side, you have a really, really long reach and some strong moves. On the side of Zero Suit Samus, you have some struggles to kill, but like a very fast character that can usually snuff out, like, can just like kill an opponent's landing, absolutely demolish them. And so you really just want to try and get Ash in the air, and then you can kind of just really camp out those landing spots. But those recoveries are going to be really difficult, and you saw that there.
We are going to be seeing that Queen Sweep taken off of the possibilities. However, two-stock advantage does seem to be all but inevitable. They take them up 80, 90, bring it in higher and higher. Can they finish it off? Answer seems to be yes as they swipe away. Game 1, 11 stocks remain.
Violet win.
11 stocks remain, and for OLC, it's just another rough hand being dealt. Now going up against a Byleth. I mean, the I don't know, the characters that you want to try and do, or the characters that you want to try and bring here, are going to be characters that can get in close, not characters that are going to, I don't know, because you're going to have a tough time closing the distance on a Byleth just because of her range. But the answer to that probably isn't range. You don't go up against a Byleth in the battle of range. You gotta go and try and, like, attack on Titan that noise. Like, just out decks her and just go fast, get in close where she's a bit weaker, and then start to have a bit more of effect.
Wow, today really has been the day of anime references, right? We got Haikyuu, we got Attack on Titan. What's next? But yeah, I certainly do agree with you on that one, right? Some of these more tanky characters, you really do just kind of have to avoid that head-on collision at all costs. As once they're able to really end the gap, just go blow for blow with you, that's when you do start to really kind of get decimated. And hopefully that'll change, right? The Byleth is a massive, massive undertaker in those kind of regards. We didn't actually see too much of an advantage utilizing kind of that longer reach. If we're being completely honest,
Yeah.
it seemed like they were most likely just kind of, they're really just trying to play it aggressively as possible. And to an extent, that can be punished. So hopefully we will be seeing this kind of going back to more of an equal state, not see one team take away too many stocks early on, and then it just kind of becomes insurmountable, as what we saw in the previous game. But who knows? It definitely seems as if Turtle Mountain College has a massive, massive plethora of players that have talent littered across all four of them. So realistically, we are just going to have to kind of wait and see. And I do expect this game to likely keep it going in the favor that we have already seen it going, as Turtle Mountain College has been looking really, really deadly.
Yeah, I mean, they've been looking completely insane. And like, I don't know. I mean, the character I'd be looking for is like a quicker character. Like, honestly, I don't know. A Meta Knight might be a good option here. The speed and the ability to get in close means you can kind of counteract that aggression as OLC. It's a 2v2, and I bless your heart, Patton. I need to get the rules, buddy. But either way, as what? Whatever. 9:45 rule. But either way.
Well, that one's
cares?
kind of stupid, but we can agree to disagree. Anyway, let's head on in. It is in the rules. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. But let's just get this straight on through. Moving over to the Meta Knight. It's an interesting pick. It's one of the weaker ones currently. It used to have a lot more prevalence back in like 2017, 2018. But there are some movesets that definitely do give it a little bit of extra value. Alright, let's see what they do on the thing. Is Petrella going to send them off stage? As now they just dip down to 2 stocks remaining. That goes down to 8 overall for the OLC. And hopefully they are just going to be able to kind of bounce back from that deficit that they have currently been breached as they hit 81%. This might be a bit of a difficult situation as Ash is unable to get back onto ledge. Possibly, never mind. A nice hook brings them. This is one of the kind of really powerhouse moves that is keeping Byleth at the top of the meta because of how easy they do have that recovery.
Yeah, that recovery is incredible, and the ability to just chase down players even at pretty long ranges is why she's a very, very strong character. And like you said, the recovery is kind of crazy. However, counterpoint, as oh my god. Every time I'm like, man, Byleth's recovery is sometimes I'm like, Byleth's recovery isn't that broken. And then I see her like off screen, hook on the stage, and then jump back on stage, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, not only is this broken, I hate that. But it is hype as heck. As a long range shot will take out the Meta Knight on OLC. As that'll be a now 1-2-1, 10-7 now for TMC, and just nearly got taken down there, nearly got hit with a mighty down air out of the Byleth. TMC in a little bit of trouble though. Just
Game.
Well, that'll do it.
Disgusting. Nasty.
That's
What the hell?
Allow me to demonstrate.
What
wow.
actual pay to win? Pay to win. I don't care. Pay to win. That's pay to win. That's pay to win. That was nasty. That Meta Knight was at no health. That Meta Knight had been hit like 2 times. And then just got sent into the sun.
Yeah, that's that. Wow. pay to win might be the only way to say it, because how on earth do you get away with that one? That is unfortunate to
I,
say the least. Maybe karma for starting early. Perhaps a little bit.
the justice has been delivered. Um, just uh
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to this last game, possibly for the Byleth, as they are going to be forced to make a complete turnaround with one stock remaining.
Um, looks like we have another rules um or the rule argument.
Yeah, I mean, they did start early, so that is definitely a possibility. I think personally, personally, I would I would say that it's you only fall off once, but I'm not like an admin or anything, so I can't.
Yeah,
Um,
we're reaching out to Tyler, the commissioner of the league. Um,
I mean, I think overall, like they weren't. I I don't think that you can make the argument too easily that they weren't going to fall off at all during that game or get a stock down uh
we're
at
getting a
all.
ruling in here from we're getting
But
we're getting a ruling in here from EGF command. We'll get that to you shortly. We'll get a ruling here on the field. It's like in the NFL when they get a
yeah,
like when they hear from like the NFL corporate offices and like I don't know where the NFL corporate offices are, but I
probably like
guess
New York,
California.
California, you think
Oh
so?
yeah, it might be New York. Um,
I would guess New York just cuz it's like I thought that's where like all billionaires were from and like
I don't know.
it's the NFL.
Where
But
does the NFL get from? Uh, the competition command. Oh, this is so boring. I'm
reading,
just trying to
ew.
Google what location. I
Ew.
know. Reading so hard. But either way, we're gonna getting some clarification in here, and then we're gonna keep on rolling on this match. Um,
See, personally, I don't really watch the NFL. Uh, I watched like one or two matches last year, and ironically enough, one of the ones that I did watch, they actually did have a player disqualification ruling. So I thought that was pretty fun. Um, I don't know. I don't know. K-Wing, who's your favorite NFL team?
I'm a Packers fan, born and bred.
Oh, very aura.
No.
Yeah, so I think in general, right, this is going to be relatively difficult. Okay, so we actually are going
All
to
right.
be seeing the Turtle Mountain College winning out on that what do you call that, disagreement. So they are only going to have to jump off the map once, um, and hopefully.
Who is okay? Who
Oh
is this
man, wow,
random
these guys
person
really
typing in
wanted
the?
to like start sick. Okay, so we are coming back on in, right? 6-10 being the current stock score line. And now we are just gonna get right on into the match.
Yippee! And then we go for it. Oh, it's all good. It's all good here. 10-6 OLC. Just it's so nasty. It's such a nasty combo. The up B into the down air. Just delicious. Delicious.
It's already seeming as if TMC is going to be on the front foot despite having a bit of an issue earlier on, and they're bringing them out. There's the 5th stock already pulled into fruition. Wow, K-Wing, this game is really seeming like we got a victory settled and almost cemented.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to look like a one-sided affair here, as you have even in, just a minute in and dropping a stock and a half gone at this point for OLC. It's looking like lights out play out of the entirety of TMC. Honestly, so far we've seen just one beatdown after another from each of these TMC players, and it sets them up as pretty big players to watch throughout the entirety of this season. Is these players that are playing pretty dominant, playing really aggressive, and these scary heroes, and clearly have a good knowledge of them and the ability to start setting up combos, and that improvement that you see from these characters, just nearly getting those misses, getting those hits in there. Like, has a very favorite combo that's
Oh, that's dirty.
that was nasty.
Oh,
That was
Each battle a
oh my
chance to
gosh,
grow.
I need to like I need to take a lap right now. I need to go to the bathroom and like splash water on my face and like look at myself in the mirror after that, because that made me feel dirty. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh, look at me.
that's insane. That's disrespectful. That's insane. That's obliterating your opposition and putting them down to their final player of the night. Oh
Spike.
my gosh.
Nasty. You nasty. And looking for a clean sweep at this point. We've seen two dominant performances out of the two TMC players that we saw in set number 1. But now we realize that like the like terrors, the like monsters that we saw in set 1 were just like the minions, and they did that much damage, and now we see the final boss. Now we see these like boss creatures that TMC has just been keeping in the background, just waiting, just for fun. Run it. And 9 stocks dropping, even if we didn't have the rules violation at the end of the round before this, would still have taken 9 stocks for 2.
Yeah.
But now you're going into a 2v3 where if you take another 3 stock, and by goodness, you've been taking 3 stocks like I take L's online, you're done. You win. Going now up against a Greninja, and it is your the only thing standing in between you and a sweep of the entire OLC team.
3,
I'm so excited to see Ash do
1,
this.
go!
Yeah, we head on in. Possibly the final stage of the night. 2 stocks remain for Ash versus Greninja. So yeah, a little bit of a pun there on my end, but let's see what they can find as the Greninja comes on through, keeping close, tries to lower the gap, but as they go for down air, switching up the tempo. as it is going to just be the neutrals trying to develop themselves further, not able to secure anything just yet as they hit up 46%. These lethal attacks are absolutely dominant against the Grenade.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. Everything about a Violet says, like, she's good at range. She's got the range down. But this Violet is doing good at the long range, but also in that mid and even in the close range game, is facing off against some characters that should have an advantage against her and just completely shutting them down. I mean, it's even now in terms of stock and percentage. It's even, and it's just getting worse for OLC.
There's another stock.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, this one's rough, and somehow the recovery comes up as they make it back on stage. This ID tries to make something happen. Still, just this damage, it's excruciating. This K-Wing, we might just be seeing the end here, and now 60%, still not able to find their first stock.
This is just so brutal. This is so nasty. Out of this Violet, Ash is just completely shutting down this Greninja.
Now we saw
Oh my gosh, don't do. Oh my gosh, and this good. No. And the sweep goes through. 11 to 1. The sweep rolls through. Goodness gracious. I mean,
well,
wow. That was impressive. I mean, that was cool. That was cool to watch.
yeah, that is yeah, so that was a game. We just watched a complete domination coming in from the TMC, and especially Turtle Mountain College. Gonna have to give a massive props up for the one, the only, the superb, the stellar, the phenomenal Ash on that bell. Yeah. I can't even speak because how on earth do you get this done? One player came in, one player swept the whole lobby. As it's certainly seeming as if the Turtle Mountain Community College is going to, or not community college, just college, is going to be a real threat to be dealt with in the TCU. As we saw some good teams last week. I'm not sure. I think you were there for that, right? But this week, it is really seeming as if there's going to be one team that's an undisputed top tier SSBU roster.
Yeah, I mean, of the teams that we've seen so far on this broadcast, I think that was the most impressive that I've seen so far. We haven't seen all of this league yet, but I think that right now, I have got a team I'm going to be keeping my eye on for the rest of this league. And that's going to be the one, the only Turtle Mountain College. And we have got quite a special little treat. We're going to be bringing you the one, the only Ash Train in for an interview. And we're going to be talking to him about what in the heck just went on there. Because, oh my gosh, I know I want to get a peek behind the curtain as to how they were doing by the end of a near clean sweep of the entire roster. And we're going to be able to ask him those questions when we return from break. So don't go anywhere. Don't change the channel because we'll be right back after these short little break. All right, and we are back. The screen might not show it, but we do have uh the two of us back here with Ash Train or Noah um on the side of Turtle Mountain College. Congratulations on your really impressive win there.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was that first match I was a bit nervous, but I think after I got the jitters out that first match, I felt better and I was able to keep it going.
You guys really played a phenomenal game. I don't know why that did not work for me, but yes, so coming on through, right? Phenomenal work. Round of applause, round of applause. Really good stuff. Now, I want to come in and I want to ask you, right? How did that feel swapping over from the Mewtwo to the Byleth in game number 2? Is that always the plan? Was this something that was just kind of like, may as well swap it up?
I'll just let you know we have two actually players. We have
that was...
Ash 3718 and Ash Train.
Oh, so this was just a completely different player. All right, so we got that wrong. Thank you so much.
He's the one that swept the second game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing work, completely dominating. And so just to come off, right, for how that worked, we talk a lot about how the game went, how you guys played, but I want to get some kind of thoughts on how your life in college is, right? So outside of playing the game, what's your favorite memory from college so far?
My favorite memory from college? Well, I'd probably say it was with Mike, and that's when we first built my computer. I have my PC. He helped me build my first computer and got me into computer gaming.
That's actually super cool. That's super cool. And if you don't mind sharing, what are your specs looking like on that?
I got a 4080 Super, 32 gigs of DDR5, i7 13900 KF, water cooled, things like that.
Wow, that is so cool. But I'll send it over to K-Wing to end us off then.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could sell that RAM right now for like for anywhere from $2 to $20 million at this point. But just before we head out, is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to or give a thank you to while you're on the stream? Anyone particularly kind there that's helped you out in this in your journey here?
Yeah. Shout out to Seth, my older brother. He's the one that kind of taught me how to play the game. Really brought me into it. And shout out to my girlfriend Stephanie, because it's her birthday today.
Happy birthday, Stephanie.
Well, that's really cute. Thank you so much for joining us on the stream, and thank you for that incredible showing there. We'll be sure to keep our eyes on you going forward in the season, and best of luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to sweep at AHEC, so tell everybody to get ready.
Yes, of course, of course. Well,
little challenge there.
Yeah, gotta get the trash talk up. I mean, we said none of it, but obviously, it's not Smash Bros. If it's not fun, right? But man. So thank you all so much for coming in. Thank you to our phenomenal players over on the right. And we'll see you all next week for even more Smash Bros. Actually, we'll see you all tomorrow for even more Smash Bros. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to come back, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.